What if everything you thought you knew about your idols turned out to be incomplete? What if the carefully curated stories of their public lives concealed a connection so surprising it could change the way millions see them forever? In a matter of hours, that unsettling possibility has ignited the most explosive fan debate of the year, because the video is real. The cameras were rolling. The moment, brief but unmistakable, has become the spark for speculation more intense than any tabloid rumor, and the question no one can stop asking is this: are Taehyung and Lisa the secret couple no one saw coming? For some, the very idea sounds impossible, a pairing so unexpected it borders on fantasy. But others insist that the proof is right there in the footage, undeniable for anyone willing to look closely enough. The story began innocently enough, as most of these stories do, with a flash of cameras outside the Celine Paris fashion show, a high-stakes spectacle designed to cement the brand's dominance in the luxury market. Taehyung had already become synonymous with Celine's meteoric rise. His appointment as global ambassador in 2023 coincided with a 51% surge in brand growth, a figure so staggering that marketing experts still cite it as the gold standard for celebrity partnerships. Lisa, too, has long been part of the fashion world's inner circle. As a muse to brands like Celine and Bulgari, she commands an influence that stretches far beyond the stage. She is, in every measurable sense, a phenomenon, a woman whose style, charisma, and magnetic presence have made her one of the most recognized faces on the planet. And yet, until last night, no one had ever seriously imagined their paths might intertwine so intimately. But then came the moment no one can stop watching, captured in a 10-second clip posted by @Taehyung on X. The footage shows Taehyung stepping past the line of press photographers, Lisa just a few steps behind him. At first glance, there is nothing unusual, just two global icons navigating the flashbulbs and chaos of Paris Fashion Week. But as they approach the velvet ropes, something changes. Taehyung slows. Lisa reaches forward. For a heartbeat, their eyes meet. And then, with a small, deliberate motion, Taehyung's hand settles briefly on the small of her back, a gesture so fleeting it would have been easy to miss if not for the thousands of fans dissecting every second of the video frame by frame. Did he study her? Did she lean in? Or was it something else entirely? Something more intimate? Something that defies the carefully maintained boundaries between colleagues? The internet's answer has been swift and deafening. This was no accident. In the hours that followed, the footage spread across every platform imaginable. On TikTok, edits set to melancholic piano music racked up millions of views. On Instagram, fan accounts posted side-by-side photos of the moment, speculating in captions laced with disbelief. On Twitter, hashtags like #TaehyungLisa and #ParisCouple trended worldwide, sparking fierce arguments between those convinced they had witnessed the soft launch of an unprecedented relationship and those who dismissed it as nothing more than professional courtesy. But even the skeptics cannot deny the impact, because if there is one truth that defines this generation of celebrity culture, it is that perception matters more than fact. And perception, right now, has taken on a life of its own. What really happened behind those ropes? Was this a moment of support between friends whose paths have overlapped countless times? Was it a planned gesture, an intentional spark meant to drive attention to the Celine brand, which has built an empire around its associations with pop culture's biggest names? Or was it something deeper, an unguarded slip that revealed an affection carefully hidden until now? No one close to either star has offered an explanation. Not Big Hit, not YG, not Celine itself. And in the vacuum of official comment, speculation has flourished like wildfire. Look closer, some fans argue, and you will see the evidence was there all along. They point to the synchrony in their schedules, the same fashion weeks, the same brand endorsements, the same elite parties where their names appear together on exclusive guest lists. They highlight the subtle parallels in their social media posts, the matching Paris sunsets, the cryptic captions about destiny, the selfies taken in hotel suites that look eerily similar. Are these coincidences, or were they clues? Breadcrumbs leading to a revelation too big to contain behind press releases and polite denials. Other voices push back, furious at what they see as an invasion of privacy. Why, they ask, Must every interaction be transformed into a romance? Why can't two artists, two global icons under unimaginable pressure, share a moment of support without the world demanding a love story? But the questions keep multiplying. Why did Taehyung choose that precise moment to pause? Why did Lisa respond with a look that some describe as shy, others as knowing? Why, in the hours before the show, did both stars vanish from public view, only to re-emerge together as cameras flashed? And perhaps most tellingly, why has no one denied the speculation? If this were truly a misunderstanding, a simple statement could have ended the frenzy in minutes. Instead, the silence has only deepened the sense that something historic might be unfolding. Is this the couple no one saw coming? Or is this the most audacious publicity strategy Celine has ever attempted? A masterstroke designed to dominate every headline from Seoul to Paris to New York. For fans, the stakes could not be higher, because this is not just any pairing. This is a convergence of two of the most powerful fan bases in the world, ARMY and Blink, communities that have often found themselves at odds, locked in an endless battle over streaming records and brand endorsements. If the footage is real, if this connection is more than professional, everything could change. Already, the impact is visible in the reactions pouring across social media. Some fans are ecstatic, celebrating what they see as the union of two extraordinary artists whose shared experiences make them uniquely capable of understanding each other's lives. Others feel betrayed, convinced that the authenticity they cherished has been compromised by the possibility of a secret relationship. And then there are those caught in the middle, unsure what to believe, torn between curiosity and the desire to protect the people they love from the suffocating scrutiny of the public eye. But as the hours pass, one thing is becoming undeniable. This is not a story that will fade quietly, because the moment Taehyung's hand brushed against Lisa's back, the rules change. It no longer matters whether the gesture was planned, accidental, or something in between. It has become a symbol of possibility, of suspicion, of the irresistible human hunger to believe in hidden stories. And as every platform continues to replay the clip, one question grows louder than all the rest. If they were never meant to be seen, why didn't they look away? The question has become a drumbeat no one can silence. If it was nothing, why does it feel like everything? In the days since the footage first emerged, the world has watched with a fixation usually reserved for the most shocking scandals. But this moment, this 10-second clip, has ignited something even deeper than scandal. It has tapped into the collective imagination of millions, a hunger to believe in a story more compelling than any scripted romance, a curiosity that defies reason. And in that curiosity, new theories have taken shape, each more elaborate than the last. Some say this was never about marketing, never about brands, contracts, or strategy. Some insist that what the cameras captured was the inevitable culmination of years spent circling each other on the edges of the same world. To them, it feels obvious. They point to the footage as if it were a final piece in a puzzle that has been waiting to be solved. The way Taehyung's gaze softens in the split second before he looks away. The way Lisa does not flinch when his hand touches her back, as if it is something that has happened 100 times before. The way their bodies fall into step without any visible cue, as if this choreography is second nature. How could any of that be accidental? This question has spawned entire communities dedicated to decoding their interactions. Fan accounts that pore over every high-resolution image, video analysts who enhance shadows and reflections for hidden details, translators who dissect every whispered word. One clip, posted by a user known only as @Flirtalist, claims to reveal a low exchange of words, inaudible under the din of cameras, but visible in the subtle movement of Lisa's lips. According to these amateur lip readers, she says only 2 words as Taehyung steps closer. "You okay?" And in that moment, the speculation shifts again, because if she was worried about him, if he needed reassurance, what does that say about the nature of their connection? Some call it proof of a quiet intimacy, a kind of tenderness that no amount of publicity can manufacture. Others dismiss it as the natural courtesy between 2 colleagues navigating an overwhelming environment. But for those who have already decided this is the story they have been waiting for, no denial will ever be enough, because denial can be scripted. But a look, they argue, cannot. And so the debate rages on. Every platform has become an echo chamber of conflicting narratives on TikTok. Creators splice the footage with clips of past interactions. Lisa and Taehyung in the same backstage corridors, seated a few chairs apart at award shows, brushing past each other in slow motion while fans scream. These edits are set to love songs, the captions reading like confessions. We were blind. They were always right in front of us on Twitter. Trending hashtags change by the hour. Hashtag protect Taehyung, hashtag Lisa deserves better, hashtag Paris couple confirmed, and inevitably, hashtag leave them alone, because while many have chosen to embrace the idea of a hidden romance, others are horrified by what they see as a complete invasion of privacy. This is exactly why idols can't breathe. One user posted in a thread that has been shared over 80,000 times. You can't expect them to be human and then dissect every blink like it's a clue to your fantasy. But if that outrage is meant to stem the tide, it is failing. In fact, every attempt to shut down the speculation has only fueled it further. Because silence, in the world of modern celebrity, is not interpreted as caution. It is interpreted as confirmation. And so the vacuum left by official statements has become fertile ground for an entire mythology to take root. Is this the couple no one saw coming? Or is this simply the inevitable collision of two people who share more than the public has ever been allowed to see? For some, the idea that Lisa and Taehyung could find solace in each other is not just believable, it is necessary. Because who else could understand the isolation of their lives? Who else knows what it feels like to stand in a sea of strangers screaming your name, yet feel unspeakably alone? Who else can recognize the exhaustion behind every practice smile, the quiet longing to be understood beyond the image projected onto stadium screens and glossy magazine covers? And it is that longing, more than any gossip or scandal, that gives the story its power, because at its core, it is not about two famous people possibly falling in love. It is about the hope that, even at the highest levels of fame, something real can still exist. Even if it was never meant to be seen, even if it is fragile, even if it is complicated in ways none of us can comprehend. But what if it's all a mirage? This is the other side of the argument. Equally passionate, equally convinced. These voices see nothing but a calculated performance, a carefully constructed moment engineered to dominate headlines at the most critical point in Celine's marketing calendar. They cite the timing. Taehyung's first major public appearance since Military Discharge, Lisa's ongoing global campaigns. The brand's need to remain culturally dominant as rival luxury houses compete for market share. They don't need to date to generate buzz, one fashion analyst wrote in a viral op-ed. They just need to be seen together long enough for everyone to wonder if they might.